Alright, solutions to quiz 5, math 95. Evaluate the following or state that they are undefined. Okay, the square root of 16, what that's asking for is what number times itself gives you 16. In this case, it's 4. I don't know, you don't have to write why. Maybe parenthetically I'll write because 4 times 4 equals 16. Sure. All you need is the 4. The negative of the square root of 9. This one's kind of tricky because you're like, oh, you can't take the square root of a negative number. Right, but I'm not asking you to take the square root of a negative number. I'm asking you what's the negative of the square root of 9. Square root of 9 is 3, so the negative of 3 is negative 3. Square root of the negative 4, square root of negative 4. This one is undefined. Why? Because nothing times itself gives you negative 4. 2 times 2 gives you 4. Negative 2 times negative 2 gives you positive 4. Nothing times itself gives you negative 4, at least when we're dealing with real numbers, which we are in this class. The cubed root of negative 8. Turns out that's negative 2, and maybe I'll even write parenthetically because negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 is equal to negative 8. It's tricky. You might think this is undefined. Oh, you can't take the square root of a negative, right? But I'm not asking you to take the square root of a negative. I'm asking you to take the cubed root of a negative. Turns out you can take the cubed root of a negative. A negative times a negative times a negative gives you a negative. So the cubed root of negative 8 is negative 2. Square root of 0, it's just 0, because 0 times 0 is 0. I don't know. I guess I don't have anything else to say about these. Move on to the next one, the domain of these functions. Okay, so for the domain of radical functions like this, there's two things we have to worry about for domains in our class. You can't divide by 0, and you can't take the square root of a negative number. So this thing that we're taking the square root of, 2x minus 8, I need that thing to not be a negative number. In other words, I need it to be greater than or equal to 0. So I just have to solve this inequality, and that'll tell me the domain. I need 2x to be greater than or equal to 8. I need x to be greater than or equal to 4. That is, well, I guess I didn't tell you how to, just said find the domain. Okay, so I guess you're good if you just put that. But usually we've been writing things in interval notation. So in interval notation, this would look like this. Everything greater than or equal to 4. So from 4 up to infinity, but include that 4. All right, same idea down here. 15 minus 5x, this thing that I'm going to take the square root of, that has to be greater than or equal to 0. Solve this inequality. A couple ways you can do it. One way would be to subtract 15 from both sides of the equation. Then divide both sides by negative 5. Negative 15 divided by negative 5 is positive 3. However, when you divide both sides of an inequality by a negative number, you've got to remember to flip that sign around. So what we get here is that we need x to be less than or equal to 3. The way you can write that is it's everything from negative infinity up to 3, including 3 because it's less than or equal to. So I guess that's it. That's the domains of these functions, and that's the end of this quiz.